Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of Fast Track Revision series on Samhita Siddhanta evam ashtangahridayam paper. The short notes of this video is provided in the Telegram channel and the link in the description below. Please subscribe to my channel and enable the bell button for continuous updates in Samhita. Moving with the 20th chapter, Nasiya Vidhi. Nasiya is especially mentioned for the treatment of Urdhvajatru Vikaras. The Nasa or the nose is considered as the gateway for the head, and it is the Nasa Shirasohidwara, and it helps in reaching all the parts of the head if we are administering the medicine through the nose. Three types of Nasiya are there: Virechana, Brahmana and Shamana Nasiya. Virechana Nasiya does the purification and expels the dosha out of the head and neck of the body, and it is indicated in conditions of Shirashula, Jadya, Syenda, Galamaya, Shofa, Ganda, Krimi, Grandhi, Kushta, Apasmara and Pinasa. The Brahmana Nasiya is indicated in conditions such as Vataja Shula, Suryavarta, Swarakshaya, Nasa and Asya Shosha, Vaksanga, Kritrabodha and Apabahuka. Shamana Nasiya is indicated in conditions of Nilika, Vyenga, Keshadosha and Akshiraji. Other types of Nasiyas are Marsha and Pratimarsha Nasiya based on the dose, and based on the type of drugs which are being used, it is Avapida and Dhumapana. Avapida Nasiya is using the Kalka and it is Tikshna variety, and Dhumapana is using the Churna and it is a Virechana type. Nasiya Anarha, that who is contraindicated for Nasiya Karma, who has just consumed Toya, Madhya, Gera, Sneha, etc. and who is wishing to consume them, and also who has just taken the food and who is just willing to take the food, and also Shirasnada, that is taken bath and who is going to take a bath, and who has already undergone the Rakta Mokshna karma, and Navapinasa, Vekarta, Sudika, Shwasa, the person having Kasa, and also the person who has undergone the Shodhana karma and Basti karma, Anartava, that is in unsuitable seasons, and Durdina, that is when the cloudy days, and in such conditions also in emergency time these persons can also be given Nasiya karma. Nasiya Vidhi. First, the head of the person has to be done Snehana and Svetana, and he has to be lying on a cot in a room which is devoid of the breeze, and his Urdhvajatru has to be given again Snehana and Svetana, and supine position the person has to lie down, and the medicine has to be slightly warmed using the warm water, and it is being taken in a tube or soaked in a piece of cloth, and it is being instilled into the nostril, each nostril by closing the other one closed. And after the medicine application, his padatala, skanda, hasta, karna has to be done, mardana or gentle massage has to be done, and he has to turn to his sides and spit out the kapha or the excretions till the medicine comes out. And after giving this Nasiya karma, after all the medicines has been gone out, then he has to lie down for a vakshadam, that is 100 seconds, and after that he has to be done the Dhumapana, and also the Ushna Jala has to be drink, or Kabala has to be done for the Kantha Shuddhi. And Samyak Sneha Nasiya Lakshana, Sukha Uchvasa, Swapna Bodha and Aksha Patava. If Sneha Nasiya Ayoga, it is causes Akshisthabdata, Shosha of Nasa and Asya, and Murtha Shunyata. And Sneha Nasiya, if done in Atiyoga, it causes Kantu, Guruta, Praseka, Aruji and Pinasa. The Virechana Nasiya, if it is being done properly or samyak, it causes Akshilakhuta and Vaktra and Swara Vishuddhi. And if Virechana Nasiya Ayoga, it produces Gadodreka, that is the Gada or the Roga will be exaggerated. And Virechana Nasiya Atiyoga causes Kshamata. And another variety of Nasiya is called as Pratimarsha Nasiya. It is called because matra is very less, and it is indicated in conditions such as Kshata, Kshama, Bala, Vriddha and Sukhatmasu, that is who is following a conservative life, and it can be administered in any time, Akala Varsha, in any season or any time it can be administered. And the contraindications for Pratimarshanasya are Dushtapinasa, Madhyapita, Abalasrotra, Krimidushita Murthini and Utklishta dosha. Because in these all conditions already the doshas are in excessive or exaggerated conditions or aggravated conditions. As this Pratimarshanasya is given in small matra, this again increases the dosha and it does not allow the doshas to move out of the body. So in such conditions the Pratimarshanasya is contraindicated. The kala or the times for using this Pratimarshanasya: at the end of Nisha, Aha, Bhukta, Vanda, Ahaswapna or Divaswapna, Adhva, Shrama, Retasa or Maithuna Karma, Shiro Abhyanjana, Gandusha, Prasrava, Anjana, Varchasa, Dandakashta and Hasa. And the dose for this Pratimarshanasya is 2 bindu or 2 drops. And it is considered as good, that is Ajanma Maranam Shastaha Pratimarshastu Bastivat. Just like Basti, this Pratimarshanasya is can be administered or is good for from the time of birth itself, and it provides all the properties of Marshanasya if it is being used daily. The next chapter, Dhumapana Vidhi. This Dhumapana indicated in Jatrurtha Vikaras and Kapha Vadotha, especially the diseases which are arising because of Kapha and Vada dosha, and also for the curing of diseases which has already arisen, and for the Swastha person who is taking care of his health. Such persons, this Dhuma can be given. And the types of Dhumas are Snigdha Dhuma, which is indicated in Vada condition, Madhya in Vada Kapha and Tikshna in Kapha condition. Dhuma Anarha, that is contraindications: Rakta Pittarthi, Virikta, Udara, Meha, Timira, Urthvanila, Atmana, Rohini, Dattabastishu, that is already given the Shodhana karma, and who have eaten Matsya, Madhya, Dadi, Kshira, Kshaudra, Sneha and Visha, and Shirasya Abhihada or injury, Panduroga, and who has been done Ratri Jagarana. And the Dhuma Akala and Atipita, if untimely done the Dhumapana and excessively, it produces Raktapitta, Andhya, Badirya, Trit, Murcha, Mada, Moha. And the treatment for such condition is the Shita, Aharas and Viharas, or the regimens treatments also, which is Shita Virya. And the Dhuma Kala, at what time the Dhumapana has to be taken? At the end of Kshuta, Jrimbha, Vit Mutra, Stri Seva, Shastra Karmana, Hasa, Dandakashta, Nisha, Ahara, Navana, Nidra, Anjana, Stana and Charti. Dhuma Yantra. By this we have to do this Dhumapana. So the same materials of Basti Netra has to be taken for preparing this Dhuma Yantra, and it should be 3 kosha, that is with 3 chambers, and Riju straight, and the tip and the root and the tip should be entering Ankushta and Kolasti, that much round or orifice should be that much circumference. And the Dhumapana Vidhi, the person should be sitting straight with the mouth open, and he has to inhale the smoke through each nostril alternately, closing the other nostril, and inhalation should be done. And at one time 3 bouts of smoke has to be taken together. Dhumavarti. By using this Dhumavarti and Dhumayendra, one has to do this Dhumapana. So stalk of Ishika, which is 12 ankula in length, has to be soaked in water for day and night, and it is smeared with the drugs which are told for the Dhumapana. 5 times this smearing has to be done. After that it has to be dried, and it is made into a Varti, that is having the thickness of Yava in or middle portion, having the thickness of the thumb and in the shape of Yava, and it is dried in shade, and it is removed from its reed, and it is being smeared with the Snehadravya appropriate for the condition, and it is inserted into the Dhuma Netra, and then it is fired and used. Dhumapana Bhala, the benefits are: if Dhumapana is done properly, then the person won't be affected by Kasa, Shwasa, Pinasa, Viswarata, Pudigantha, Panduta, Keshadosha, Karna Asya, Akshi, Srava, Kandu, Arti and Jatya, Tandra and Hitma. Next chapter, Gandushadi Vidhi. Gandusha, it is types Snigdha, Shamana, Shodhana and Ropana. Gandusha Vidhi in Nivata and in Atapa, the person has to be done Snehana and Svetana of the shoulder and the neck, and then keeping his face slightly lifted up, he has to do the Gandusha. The difference between Kabala and Gandusha, that is filling the mouth with liquids fully, not permitting any movements inside mouth, is called as Gandusha, and the taking liquid into the mouth and moving it with gargling for specific time is called as Kabala. You can expect the question of a difference between Kabala and Gandusha. And the Kabala is indicated in conditions such as Manyashira, Karna, Mukha and Akshiroga, Prasega, Kanthamaya, Vaktra Shosha, Harallasa, Tandra, Aruchi and Pinasa. Next topic in this chapter is Pratisarana. Applying the herbs to the interior of the mouth for mucus drainage is called as Pratisarana. It is of three types, that is using Kalka, Rasakriya and Churna, and it should be done in diseases of the Kapha dosha origin, and the drugs has to be used which has already been told in the Gandusha. Next is Mukhalepa. Application of the paste of drugs over the face is called as Mukhalepa. It is again of three types, that is Doshaha, that is removing the dosha, Vishaha, which removes the poison, and Varnakrit, improving the complexion. The most important topic, and usually the questions will be asked from this topic, from this chapter, that is Murtha Taila. It is of four types, that is Abhyanga, Seka, Piju and Shirobasti. Among these four, the Shirobasti is considered as the most effective one. Shiro Abhyanga, applying oil and doing mild massage over the head, is called as Shiro Abhyanga. It should be done in conditions of Rauksha, Kantu and Mala. Pichu, oil-soaked cloth or the cotton swabs are placed over the head, and it is useful in conditions of Keshashada, Sputana and Dhumapana. Next is Seka or Parisheka. Pouring oil in a thin stream is called as Seka or Parisheka. It is also called as Shirodhara. It is useful in conditions such as Arumshika, Shirastoda, Daha, Paka, Vrana, etc. Next is Shirobasti. The first, making the oil to stand on the head is called as Shirobasti. It is indicated in conditions such as Netra Stamba, Prasupti, Ardida, Jagara, Nasa, Asya, Shosha, Timira and Daruna Shiroroga. First, the person has to be done Shodhana Karma, and then after that Snehana and Svedana has to be done for the Urthujatru, and in the evening time he should be made to sit on a stool of height of knee, and a strap of leather which is made of Gavya or Mahisha strap has to be applied over the head, and it should be having 12 ankula in length and the equal to that of the head in circumference, and it is wrapped around the head just above the ears and covered by a piece of cloth over the forehead and fastened tight with a thread. And the joints and wherever the spaces are there, it is being sealed or packed with the paste of black gram flour in order to prevent the leakage of oil. After that, the medicated oil for that particular condition of the patient should be poured over the head in lukewarm condition to a height of 1 ankula over the skin of the scalp. And it should be retained on the head till the secretion of fluid appears in the mouth and nose, or for else 10,000 matra kala for Vada dosha, 8,000 matra for Pitta dosha, 6,000 matra for Kapha dosha and 1,000 matra for Swastha can be done. 1 matra kala refers to the time taken to blink the eye once. Similar procedure is called as Karna Purana, that is the ears is being filled with the medicated sneha, and after that the root of the ears has to be massaged till the pain or the disease gets subsided, and for a period of 1,000 matra has to be retained in cases of Swastha. Moving with the next chapter, Ashtana Anjana Vidhi. The Ashtana is Sarva Akshirokanam Ado, that is in all the diseases of eye before the manifestation of the disease or initially Ashtana has to be done, especially in conditions of Ruk, Toda, Kandu, Gharsha and Ashrudaha and Raga. And Ashodhana in a place devoid of the breeze, that is Nivata. The person has to lie on a cot and the patient's eye are being opened by the left hand of the physician, and on the right hand he should hold the medicine dispenser, that is Pichu Varti, and from 2 angula above the inner canthus of the eye, 10 to 12 drops of the medicine has to be instilled into the eyes with soft clothes, and after that mild fermentation or Svedana karma has to be done with cloth rinsing in the warm water in conditions of kapha and vada dosha rokas. By doing this Ashodhana karma, this medicine will be entering into the srotases and srotas of head, nose and face, and it will be helping in eliminating the doshas or the malas which is being localized in the Urdhva Jatru. Next is Anjana. Anjana means applying the Anjana or collyrium to the eyes, and it has to be done in Shuddha Tanu, that is already done the Shodhana karma, and it is mainly indicated for the Netra Amaya mala, that is the doshas which are localized in the eyes, and also in conditions such as Pakwalinga, Alpashofa, Atikantu, Paichilya, Mandakharsha, Ashruraga, Ghanadushika, and also Pitta Kapha, Rakta disease conditions, this Anjana is being indicated. And for doing this Anjana karma, a special instrument called as Shalaka is necessary. This Shalaka is a metal rod having 10 angula length, and it is thin in the middle, that is Tanur Madhya, and Mukulanana, that is resembling like a flower bud. And the types of Anjana are Lekhana, Ropana and Drishti Prasadana. And the 3 forms in which Anjana is used for administration is, one is Pinda, that is using pill, and it is used for the Guru conditions, that is when the more of doshas are aggravated in such conditions. And for the Tikshna Anjana, 1 Harenu, and for Mrudu Anjana, 2 Harenu is the dose. Next is Rasakriya, that is using the gel-like preparations, and it is considered for the Madhya aggravation of the doshas, and Vela Matra is the Matra, and Churna, the powder is being used, and it is Lakhu dosha aggravation, and 2 Shalaka is the dose for Tikshna Anjana, and 3 Shalaka is the dose for the Mrudu Anjana. Next is Anjana Kala. It should not be done at night and swapne during the sleep time, and Madhyana, and when the eyes are being fatigued by strong rays of the sun. Anjana Anarha, that is contraindications of doing Anjana karma. The person who are Bhita, Vamita, Virikta, Ashita, Vekita, Krutha, Jwarita, Tapta Akshita, Shiroruk, Shoka, Jagara, Adrishta Arka, Shirasnada, Pitayor Dhuma, that is already done the Dhumapana, Madhya, Ajirna, Akni Arka, Santapta, Divasapna and Pipasita. Next chapter, Tarpana Putapaka Vidhi. Tarpana, when the eyes are becoming fatigued and stabda, Shushka, Ruksha, Abhighata, Vada, Pittatura, that is the diseases of Vata and Pitta, and the Jihme, Shirna Pakshmada, that is irregularity or loss of eyelashes, Avila, and also in diseases such as Krichron Mila, Siraharsha, Sirotpada, Tama, Arjuna, Syenda, Mantha, Anyato Vada, Vada Paryaya, Shukraka, and after relief from the conditions such as Raka, Ashru, Shula, Samrabha and Dushika, in such conditions the treatment procedure called as Tarpana has to be done. And Tarpana Yogya, that is already the person who has gone for Nasiya and also Vamana, Videshana, etc. And during the Sadharana Kala, both in either Prata or Saya, that is morning and evening, the person can do this Tarpana Karma. So in the Nivata, that is room devoid of breeze, a wall is constructed with the paste using Yava or Masha over the eye socket with a height of 2 angula. And in that the medicated Sarpi or the other medicated Sneha Dravya is being in the liquefied form has to be poured, keeping the eyelids closed, and up to the level of eyelashes that medicated sneha has to be applied, and the patient is asked to open his eyes slowly so that the drugs will be retaining in the eyes. And the matra kala in the diseases of Vartma 100 matra, Santhi 300, Sita 500, Asita 700, Drishti 800, Athimanda 1000, Vataroga 1000, Pittaroga 600, Swastha 500, and Kapharoga 500. And the sneha should be removed through a hall after this karma, and the Dhumapana has to be done after that, and the person should not look into directly towards the bright objects or toward the sun. Samyak Yoga, the Lakshanas are Prakashak Shamada, Swasthya, Vishada, and Lakhulojana. Ayoga leads to Shleshmaja, that is diseases of the kapha, and ruja, the pain will be produced. After Tarpana karma, Putapaka has to be done. Just as the body becomes fatigued after the Snehapana karma, eyes also becomes very fatigued after this Tarpana karma because of the usage of Sneha Dravyas. So in order to restore the strength of the eyes, this Putapaka has to be done. And all the indications for Tarpana are considered as the indications for Putapaka also. Putapaka is of 3 types, that is Snehana in conditions of Vata disorders, Lekhana in that of Vata and Kapha rogas, and Prasadana in weakness of the eyes in disorders of Vata, Pitta, Rakta, and also for the Swastha Purusha. Putapaka Kalpana or procedure. The meat of animals and the other drugs has to be made into balls, and each ball should be having 1 bilwa matra or 1 pala in quantity, and it should be wrapped in the leaves of rubaka, vada, ambhoja, etc. And after that it is being smeared with the proper snehadravya, and this ball is being given the coating of mud, that is mrida liptam, and it has to be dried, and after that it is placed in the fire of wood of dhava or dhanvana or in the gomaya agni, and the cooked balls when it become like red in appearance, after they cool off, the paste of this drugs has to be taken out, and juice is being extracted, and this juice has to be put into the eyes just as that of the Tarpana karma. Matra kala for Lekhana Putapaka 100, for Snehana purpose 200, and for Prasadana 300. Contraindication for both Tarpana and Putapaka, the contraindication of Nasiya karma has to be followed. And for all these Anjana, Ashodhana Anjana, Tarpana and Putapaka has to be done, or the benefits or the indications are mentioned, because all of the efforts has to be done to strengthen the eyes, because if the vision is got lost, all these world become just one, that is becomes darkness. So we have to prevent the vision of our eyes by using the Nasiya, Anjana, Tarpana, Putapaka, etc. Moving with the 25th chapter, Indravidi Adhyaya. From this chapter, you can expect the 3 marks questions like Indra karmas and Anuyendras. The Anuyendras are Ayaskanda, Rajju, Vastra, Ashma, Mudgara, Vandra, Andra, Jihwa, Bala, Shakha, Nakha, Mukha, Dvija, etc. They have to be used based on the assessment of the disease and the condition of the patient. The Indra karmas are Nirghadana, Unmadhana, Purana, Marga Shuddhi, Samvyuhana, Aharana, Bandhana, Pidana, Achushana, Unnamana, Namana, Chala, Bhanga, Vyavartana, and Rajukarana. The next chapter, Shastravidi Adhyaya. From this chapter, the Shastra karmas, Anushastras or the Shastra doshas can be expected, and also the questions regarding the Jaluga Avacharana can also be expected from this chapter. The Anushastras are Jalauga, Kshara, Dahana or Agni karma, Kaja, Upala and Nakha. The Shastra karmas or the functions of Shastras are Utpadana, Padana, Sivana, Eshana, Lekhana, Prachana, Kuttana, Chedana, Bhetana, Vyathana, Manthana, Grahana and Dahana. The Shastra doshas, 8 Shastra doshas are mentioned. They are Kunda, Khanda, Tanu, Sthula, Hrasva, Dirgha and Vaktrata and Khara, dharatvam. So these are the 8 Shastra doshas. These you can expect from the Shastra. And next, moving with the Jalauka, you can expect the 3 marks or 5 marks questions from the Jalauka. The Jalauka is of 2 types, that is Savisha and Nirvisha. The properties of Savisha Jalauka. Jalauka which is born in dirty water, which is being contaminated by putrefying dead bodies of fish, frog, etc. is considered as Savisha. And they will be having Rakta, Shweta and Krishna Varna. They will be Chapala, that is more active. It will be Sthula and Pichila. And it will be having different colored lines on the body. And Romasha, that is very hairy. If they are used, it will produce Kantu, Paga, Jwara and Brahma. And these ailments or these conditions has to be treated with the drugs which reduces the Visha, Pitta and Rakta. And this Savisha Jalauka should not be used for treatment purpose. Next is Nirvisha Jalauka. It is born in Shuddhambu and it will be Shaivala Shava, that is blue color, and it will be Vritta. Neela Urthvaraji will be present, and Kashaya Prishta, Tanu Anga and Pita Udara are the features of Nirvisha Jalauka. And if this Nirvisha Jalauka has to be used for the treatment purpose, and even though this Nirvisha Jalauka also, if they do not vomit after the Jalauka Avacharana, then they are, after that, if they are applied frequently, then they are inactive even getting into the pure water or normal water. Such Jalaukas should not be used for the treatment and should be considered as Rakta Mada, that is intoxicated with blood, and should be rejected. The procedure of Jalauka Avacharana. The Jalauka which has been kept for the short time in water containing Nisha and Avanti or Takra has to be put back into the pure water or normal water. And then the Jalauka is made to bite or suck the part of the body which is being affected by the condition, which should be rubbed first with ghrida, mud or breast milk or blood by making a wound over the affected part. And when it starts sucking the blood, it will be raising its shoulders. By that time, that Jalauka has to be covered with a soft moistened cloth. And this Jalauka will suck only the impure blood, or the vitiated or dushta rakta only will be sucked, and the shonita, which is pure, won't be sucked by this Jalauka. And when there is a pricking pain or kantu over the site of the biting, then it has to be understood that the Shuddha Rakta is being sucked. So that time this Jalauka has to be removed, and the Jalauka has to be made vomit the blood which has been sucked. And for this purpose we have to use the salt or lavana, and taila can be used, or the massage the body of the Jalauka using the rice flow, so that the blood which is being sucked will be vomited by the Jalauka. And such Jalauka which has been used for Jalauka Avacharana should not be used for the next 7 days, and this used Jalauka has to be transferred into separate jars. And if Ashuddha Rakta is not completely removed, then that bite area should be made to bleed using Haridra, Guda, Makshika, etc. And a piece of cloth which is being soaked in Shatadauda Krita has to be applied over the area. And also the Shita Dravyas can be used as application after removing this Jalauka. Another variety of Rakta Mokshna is called as Prachana. The part of the body above the site where we have to do the Prachana karma has to be tightly tied with a rope or leather strap. Then Snayu, Sandhi, Asthi and Marma has to be avoided from this doing Prachana karma, and puncturing has to be done from the below towards the upward. And this incision should not be too much deep or too close or in the sideways direction, and do not repeatedly puncture over a site itself. The indications for different varieties of Rakta Mokshnas are mentioned, that is Prachana for localized vitiated blood, Jaloga when the blood is being solidified and which is deep seated or avakada, and also in Pitta dosha avasthas Jaloga can be used, and when there is Supti or loss of sensation over the skin and Vada dosha predominant conditions, Shringa can be done, and Alabu and Khada are indicated in Kapha dosha vitiated conditions and that too in localized in skin, and Siravyatha is indicated when the Dushta Rakta is spread all over the body. Today we completed a portion of fast track revision series on Maulika Siddhanta evam Ashtangahridaya paper and will be continuing the same in the next videos. The short notes of this video is provided in the Telegram channel and the link in the description below. For more updates on Samhita, make sure you subscribe the channel. Thank you. See you in the next video. Till then, bye.